Welcome to another episode of the Uppercuts podcast with your guy, King ECG and Coach OG.
Bless everyone.
So today, it's only us two. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. I also want to say this is brought to you by Dynamite Boxing Club. All right. Make sure you come check it out. It's a great place with even greater people. All right. Um. So you watched the Bivol and the Canelo fight, right?
I did. I don't think I saw the same fight the judges saw.
Okay.
Yeah,
How?
yeah.
Why?
Well, I would give Canelo tops 3 rounds in that fight,
Yeah.
and that's being generous.
I guess. I mean, for me, he lost it decisively. Okay, no
Yeah,
ifs, ands, or buts.
yeah,
He didn't use his jab. Bivol, for a guy his size, he was in and out, in and out. And I think that's one thing that really confused Canelo.
and his punch volume. You know what I mean? When he was in, it was brrr, and then he was out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And he really commanded and controlled that fight. I was very impressed with it, like very impressed.
yeah. Canelo, I'm still baffled that he didn't use his jab. Like it, I'm just, and the uppercut was working,
Yeah,
but it was like he had to set a punch up for it. Okay, if you got to set a punch up, you know what I mean? Keep the head movement, get in, throw your jab, and then, you know what I mean? After the jab, throw a hook. He hit him to the body a couple times
yeah.
too, but Bivol was going to Canelo's body as well.
Because I agree, he didn't mix up the punches. Because even it's for when I mean by mixing up the punches, throwing light and hard. Like sometimes you just whiff some in just to get
Get
a
a
reaction
reaction.
or
Yeah.
something out of the fighter. And Bivol even said after the fight, like every punch was a power punch. That's going to get tiring for one. Um, and no disrespect, because I would never want to take one of his. But when you go up in weight, the power, the people that he's hitting are kind of used to that power in a sense. You know what I mean? So he's not. I'm not saying he's not as powerful because obviously you get more powerful when you gain weight and you can throw that punch.
Yeah.
But those people are used to getting hit by those punches at the same time. You know what I mean?
No, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So he wasn't. Yeah, it was basic power, 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 and it is very tiring as well too.
Well, I mean, it has to. I mean, if you're throwing your weight into everything every time,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you're doing it for a span of 12 rounds, by the ninth round, they're powder puffs.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The thing for me when it came to Bivol too, that I was very because I never watched Bivol, so this is the first time I seen him. So for a guy his size, the way that he moves
yeah,
so fluently with the in and out pattern that he has, and like he made Canelo fight at his rhythm.
yeah.
He said, "Yo, Canelo, I'm not gonna fight with you. I'm gonna box, and every time I want to come in and just show you what's up,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop in, put my feet on your couch for a quick second,
Mhm.
drink a beer, and then I'm gonna leave and call you." Do
No,
you know what I mean?
it was a very good display. Like he boxed exactly what he needed to do. Exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
What did you have the scorecard at?
To be honest, I maybe give Canelo 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Eh, It's like I said, the beginning okay. Maybe you could say it was a draw the first round, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Mm-hmm.
like a hard maybe.
Yeah.
But Bivol controlled the fight from bell to bell. You know what I mean? That's how
I
I feel.
I agree. And I was watching Teddy Atlas, who was on a YouTube channel, and he was talking about what did he title it? The autonomy of a fix. And he wasn't saying that this fight was fixed. He doesn't like. There's no evidence that it was fixed. He's not saying it was fixed. He wasn't trying to say that it is.
Yeah.
All he was saying is that he's been in the industry 50 years and he knows the possibility of some fuckery that's in the business.
Well, the thing is, everybody says that,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and it's not just about boxing; it's about the UFC too. A lot of fighting platforms, sometimes the judges will get it wrong.
yeah.
You
No,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
and sometimes it isn't honest, and also we don't see what they see.
Yeah.
They're like they might see other things in the ring or the octagon that we're not we can't see from our view at home. You know what I mean? But they so in this fight, I believe all three judges had the first 4 rounds going to Canelo. This was according to Ted. This was Teddy Atlas explaining not why it was a fix or how it could
Could
have
be.
been a fix.
Okay.
All right, so I'm not saying it was a fix either. So I don't want anyone coming for me and trying to chop off my head because I have nothing of it. But he was just saying that this is how they could have done it. So the first 4 rounds, all three judges gave it to Canelo.
Yeah.
Okay. And what he said, what this covers is, say someone gets cut in the sixth, seventh round and can't continue to fight.
Yeah.
It's going to go to the scorecards, and the scorecards already has Canelo ahead. So
Yeah.
they covered their ass there. So there's that way that it's a win. Um, and then they gave the next four to Bivol to try and
Even it out.
cover up their tracks in a sense. You know what I mean? And then it was up to Canelo. I'm not saying that again. I'm not saying it was a fix, but it was up to Canelo just to take it home in the last 2 rounds. Do what you need to do, win those last 2 rounds, and he would have won the fight.
Wow.
You know. And again, we know the boxing industry, in a sense, has had some shady characters. You know what I mean? So it is possible. I'm not saying that one was, but the possibility of it happening or ever happening or happening again is very true.
Yeah. Listen, I've watched more UFC than I've watched boxing.
Yeah.
And I've seen fights where they say, okay, octagon control, ringmanship,
Yeah.
aggression, those things matter.
Yeah.
But then you'll see a fight where a fighter's super aggressive and maybe they don't have 5 minutes of control time. But the other person who's getting the butt beat had 8 minutes of control time, but they really didn't win the fight. The control time that they had was different. It was kind of, he was just laying on him and buying his time. He didn't really make any movements.
True.
He didn't really do any work. And they'll still give it to that guy, not realizing that, well, the other one put in more work. You could see not just the damage on their face, but you can tell by the strikes how much they hit compared to each other. And sometimes they give it to the wrong person. And you know, that goes to what you're saying about it might being fixed, because even at the fight, some of the announcers were like, "Yo, where they got it right this time. They didn't try to screw Bivol over."
Yeah.
But then
when you look at the scorecard, though, like to call it that close, it's like, come on, they attempted to maybe screw him,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't allow it. You know what I mean? And that's one thing we always tell our fighters, like, you cannot leave the fight in the judge's hands. You know what I mean? Or if you do, just make sure it's like convincing.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, because you never know what they're gonna do.
Well, also, like I said, Bivol's a very smart fighter.
Yeah.
There was a point in time, I think it was the third round, where he started. No, I think it was the fifth round. He starts hitting him with some combos, and Canelo's against the ropes, and you know he does his famous little shoulder roll after taking a few shots, and he goes, "Come on, bring it in." And Bivol knew, if I go back into that house, something might happen I don't want to happen. No. You come back out.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on,
gonna fight my fight. I'm not gonna come fight your fight. No.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that was brilliant for him. That the composure not to get too ahead of himself. I got this guy beating the cards. I'm beating the heck out of him. Look at the tactics that he's resorting to to attempt to, you know what I mean, get the fight in his hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, shout out to Canelo, to all the people out there,
Yeah.
all the people out there because he lost, talking all this mess.
Can't talk shit.
It's not even that. You guys aren't true boxing fans. Like I'm a fan of sports,
Yeah.
right? So like basketball, football, not really hockey or soccer. I'm not gonna act like that. And this is a boxing podcast. I'm very new to it. That's why I have coaches like Coach Oj and Coach Raj and Thompson and other people you guys will see eventually on this that me and Oj have created to talk boxing. They know more than I do. I'd rather learn and teach y'all at the same time and have great teachers here teaching y'all at the same time.
And they all know more than I do, and they help teach me. You know what I mean? So it's gonna flow.
Yeah,
that's some good. Yeah,
you know I mean?
It's gonna
But,
flow.
Yeah, you know, Canelo, great fighter. In the pound for pound list, okay, if you don't want to have him number one, I understand because he lost, but he's still in that pound for pound. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
You can't deny the work he put in. And you know, I know you didn't watch the Charlo fight, but Charlo is now undisputed, right? He's the seventh guy to do it. Awesome job to him. He should get the same credit Canelo got. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You gotta respect these guys. Like at the end of the day, I'm not no boxer. I've never been in no ring. I had tons of street fights, but at the end of the day, there's no honor in that. There's huge honor in being in this ring, and blood, sweat, and tears. You going to hell with somebody else.
And there is a difference. I'm sure you've seen that there's a video of a guy that walked into a gym,
Oh yeah, I was
and he
talking
was
mad
and he was
shit.
talking. Yeah, he was. I forget what he said his record was, but maybe 30, 40, in the street. And then he got in the ring, and that guy just beat him to ring post to ring post.
Oh yeah, you know
And
what I
he's
mean?
like, so it's different. It's so different.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, man. Like Dynamite Kid said, it takes a lot of courage. You're already a winner
Yeah,
once you step in this square circle.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But let's get to some fights that are coming up, okay?
All right.
So, we've got Tank against Romeo. Well, what you say
It's
about
hard
that
to go
fight?
against Tank, man. I love the kid.
Well, when it comes to this bozo, and listen, man, you're a fighter. I'm not gonna act like I can take you on the street. And if you see me on the street and you want to punch me, go ahead, bro. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna end up getting some money. I mean, I could fight back, but I'd rather just hit you in your pockets because these are just words. You know what I mean? You gotta prove me wrong, right? I'm here watching you. You gotta make sure you do what you're supposed to do, playboy. Anyways, he gonna get him out. I think third, fourth round knockout. He'll catch him slipping, beat the brakes off the
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. It's not even gonna. It's gonna just be keep the ring rust off him because there's no way he's gonna.
Right? What's next for Tank though? Do you think?
As in what? What do you mean?
Like, should he try to get all the belts,
Always.
or should he move up, grab some other belts?
Like moving up. I mean, I think he still would be able to, but I think there's also a time and place for it. It shouldn't be rushed.
Okay.
But as he's getting older, I'm sure there's going to be a time when you get man girth to you, just get a little bit bigger. Maybe cutting weight is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So to go up at that time, it makes sense. Because I think this is just my personal opinion, and this is going back many years when Jones went up to heavyweight to fight and get the belt.
Yeah.
I feel he was never the same fighter when he went back down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it has to be more. I mean, I don't know. It just has to be more natural and more fluid, and the timing of it has to be good and not rushed. You know what I mean? To do it just to win the belts, yeah, sure, you want to win the belts, like that's what they all want to do. That's why they're doing it. But to, it shouldn't come at a price,
Okay.
in my opinion. You know what I mean? But obviously, again, there's people out there that know more than me too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Casual.
Mhm.
Oh, you're the casual. Over here acting like Canelo's not freaking one of the greatest fighters in the
Oh,
world
he
because
is.
he took one loss. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Anyways, let's get to the Cambos and Devin Haney. I know we talked about it another time with Coach Thompson
Yeah.
and Raj here, but now it's getting closer to the fight. We'll probably talk about this maybe one or two
Yeah.
more times, or hopefully have it for the night of the fight. But uh, you know, me going back and watching some of the Haney stuff, I'm not too sure that my take was accurate when I said Cambos was gonna wash him. I spoke out of pocket. I'd like to apologize to the Haney
Mhm.
family. I don't want no smoke. Y'all, I know y'all probably ain't seen it yet, but I don't want no smoke. Um, uh, Haney's probably gonna beat him technically.
uh,
You know what I mean? Because of his robot movements. Um, Cambosis could just have a good flurry for about 3 to 4 rounds, and maybe win it off decision if he can stand up. You know what I mean? Because he can throw punches and bunches. It's just if he connects.
I got Haney on the fight myself. I just think that he's just, I don't know. It's hard to put in. I just think he has what it takes. You know what I mean? Like you said, he'll just be able to put the combinations together right and do the proper boxing when it comes time,
Yeah,
and stick with the fight plan as long, like throughout the fight.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And like we were saying, like don't get off your fight plan, like what Bivol did with Canelo. He's
yeah.
smart that way. He's smart.
But here's the thing though, right? When you go in, if your plan's not working right away, you tend to resort back to old ways, or
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I mean. And it's up to the coaches to know when to tell them, hey,
yeah.
you should never have a plan B. But having a bad plan B is not a bad thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Especially when you're fighting the unknown. You can watch tape all you want on somebody. You don't know what they're gonna do
And
until you
whatever
step
going
into
in
that
wasn't
ring.
working. Yeah.
Yeah, or you step on that court, or you
Yeah.
step on that field. You can watch as much tape as you want. But to the Canelo thing, I can't pronounce the man's name again.
That's me. I mash up names all the time.
He was the other heavyweight gentleman that he fought that he ended up knocking out, but he was losing on the cards. I can't remember the name. My brother.
Oh, Caleb Plant.
No, no, no.
Not that
Okay,
fight.
not that fight. It
Oh,
was the
cause
It was another heavyweight, light heavyweight one before Kolev. I think
Kovalev.
it's. I think it was Kovlev.
Kovalev. Sergey. Yeah.
I think it was that one. Kovlev was winning the fight on the cards, but Canelo caught him slipping and knocked him out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people feel the way like Atlas and stuff like that, that it might have been a fix because I know Bivol was winning the fight.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody else is like. I first I was saying it was even. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to give Canelo the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt of starting slow.
Because he's one of my favorites too. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what I mean? I yeah, like I'm not trying to trash Canelo in any of
No, no,
this.
no,
No.
no. No, we're not doing that. We're just saying he bit
Yeah.
off a little bit more than he drew
Yeah.
this time, and they're gonna have the rematch. But back to the Haney and Cambosis, yeah, we're right on that. I believe
Yeah.
that if he sticks to the game plan and the game plan's working, he should be able to win by decision. You know what I mean? There's been a little bit of back and forth with them. I don't know if you've seen that video. It was on YouTube. I'll send it to you later. I should have sent it to you earlier, where Cambosis was just talking to him, talking down to him, and Haney said, "You're gonna have to respect me as a man. Like, you're gonna see." You know what I mean? And
There's never
Cambo.
a shortage of that. Hey.
Oh, listen, I tell people this all the time, man. And I heard this from another guy. The boxing ring breaks liars.
Yeah.
You lie all you want on the street, lie all you want walking around. Even if you step in there with somebody that's not experienced,
And you.
fight, fight or flight, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of people say they got that fight, they got that dog, but sometimes they're on that seal, fly like an eagle.
Out of
They're
here.
trying to get out the ring.
Out of here.
They're trying to figure out themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in this world in general, I feel like combat sports are the apex of well well trained, disciplined athletes. Not saying that basketball and football doesn't produce that because that would be a lie.
Mhm.
But in a sport where it's only you, it's just you. Even tennis,
Yeah.
like any singular sport where like it's just you,
Those
you
are
got
hard.
nobody. Those are extremely hard. You have to have a lot of time and dedication and to the craft and knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and working on them. But you also need to have a good group of people around you
Yeah.
to bring that out.
And taking a loss in a fight is like, of course, a loss is always hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, you're in there by yourself. When you take that loss, especially when it's like a humiliating loss, there's like all eyes on you getting your ass whooped.
Yeah.
And then to come back from that and to continue fighting, that takes a lot. That's
Yes.
not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? So taking those losses is a very, very hard loss to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very hard. Very hard.
Other than that, though, I mean, anything going on in the city?
Not off the top of my head that I can
There's a Calgary Cup that was going on this weekend. I didn't get a chance to go down and see it. I was at home watching basketball and soaking up boxing and stuff as well. There's a new streaming company, Millions. They did an amateur cup. Shout out to them. Try to bring Calgary boxing
think.
along
Nice, nice.
or Canada boxing along. I mean, same thing's happening over here with Dynamite Club. They're trying to get it. That's one thing I wanted to talk to you about too. And like I said, I'm a novice and I'm not really new. Well, I'm not really new. I am new to the whole boxing world
Mhm.
in our city. I have something I'd like to say to all the potential gym owners and gym owners. If you guys care about these kids, start working together. The East Coast, they work. Doesn't matter what the problem is. I want money in my pocket just like you. I want these kids to grow. I want to birth champions. Time y'all start working together. Stop the backbiting and the red eye. Okay, somebody does hockey and boxing. That's their lane. You might do basketball and boxing. That's your lane. Somebody's doing football and boxing. That's your lane. But you all can still intertwine and intermingle with each other, build something. You know what I mean? Like this pandemic crushed a lot of people. There's a lot of people out here mentally unstable, and some things like boxing or hockey, just sports in general, helps ease their mind. It's like music, right? For some people,
Definitely,
music
definitely.
calms
You
down
need
the
a
beast.
release.
Yeah,
It's good to hit some, like, one cool thing about boxing is, man, it's so liberating to, like, when you spar to fight someone
legally.
legally. You're not getting arrested after. There's no repercussions of it. You do release a lot of stress in that, like a
Yeah,
lot of stress you do. And like I said in the previous podcast, man, you and homeboy or homegirl, whoever you just sparred with, you're tighter. Like you bond with them. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like it's really cool. It's a really cool shit,
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, man. I'm gonna get in here myself soon. Get some
man. Yes,
work done.
yes, yes. We're gonna be getting you going, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be tour days in here, man. I don't know, two days, man. I don't want none
I'm
of that.
looking forward to it. Get to yell at you.
Of
Hey.
course, see. But yeah,
Move it.
yeah. Other than that, though, we should be back within the next 2 weeks. We'll do some more fight reviews. But other than that, though, is there anything else you want to add,
Remember what we
Coach?
were talking about in the parking lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to see it, but what you were talking about, the YouTube boxing and the
Okay. Well, all right. Can I be
yeah, you
fair
got
when I say this? I know some of y'all gonna look at me. I'm out of shape. I'm rotund. Okay. But I don't want to see you YouTubers who look like Bert and Ernie fighting. Y'all disrespecting boxing. Like y'all shouldn't be doing what y'all doing. Cornballs. Sorry. Just saying it. Now, Jake Paul. Everybody I talk to, including Oj, they have a little respect for Jake. You know what I mean? But I have a lot of respect for him just because he is taking the sport serious. He is putting in the time, he's putting in the hours. Now, Jake Paul as a person, hey, that's up to you to decide whatever you want to do or however you want to feel. But as somebody who's trying to help boxing and trying to do his own thing in it, no problem. You gotta leave Canelo alone though, all right, Jake?
oh,
That's a
I hope
night
he
night.
does.
That's a night
Yeah,
proposition.
I
Yeah.
really because
No, Canelo's not gonna. Canelo will probably do it later on. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. Mayweather fought this weekend. I don't know if anybody paid attention to that. It was an exhibition match. I didn't pay attention to it because I don't really care no more for the man. That's just my personal opinion. He is one of the greats, no lie. But man, I don't want to see you fighting a juice box, a tin can, a
yeah.
mop, a squeegee. I don't care for that, man. You know what I'm saying? And people say Jake Paul's fights are like that because he's fighting these UFC
Well,
fighters.
and I also believe in his earlier contracts, he wasn't allowed to be knocked out. Like it was part of the contract when you fight him that you could not knock him
Oh,
out. I honestly I forget who told me that, but I and I forget if it was so who was his first one? Robinson? Nate? Or was that
somebody else, and then it was Robinson. The first big name was Robinson,
yeah.
and even that fight shouldn't have happened.
No.
Like that, we still smoking that Nate pack. Just
So
so you know, we still smoking on that Nate pack.
it hurts me that he circumvented what most boxers have to go through to become a boxer, to become a professional boxer. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like we talked about in the last podcast, like the time spent
in the
going,
gym.
traveling, going to this tournament, getting fights in here, having to put that type of time in, that type
Okay,
of work in. You know what I mean? He circumvented that, which bothers me. You know what I mean? And he's almost at times he's trying to make the sport look like it's easy, in my opinion. Although he does put in time, he does train, but that's part of my how he came out of nowhere. And some people who might not understand the sport see him knocking people out, thinking, "Oh, hey, that's easy. I can do that."
okay. You want me to give you a little bit of advice my dad told me
What's
when I
that?
was a young kid?
Mm.
Don't ever let the devil fool you. If you can't listen, you must feel. So I can sit here and watch these UFC fighters all day, and some guy that I grew up with who was 125 pounds goes in the ring and knocks out a 225-pound man, and I can go, yeah, that looks easy, but I'm not him. He's not me. Bone density, experience. Yet again, the fight or the flight aspect, right? Some people are natural fighters. Some people don't mind conflict. There's other people who do mind conflict, right? They
Mm.
shy away from it. Those people are usually less aggressive. The people who like conflict or even love it, they're ultra aggressive all the time
Yeah.
with anything.
Yeah.
So I would just say, don't think it's that easy. I respect it, not because I've done any boxing training yet. I do a little power work with my bro here and there, but we're about to start that. But first, I got to start working out, shut down the weight, and then I can start learning the sweet science. But it's not easy. Anybody that thinks it's easy to go into a ring and knock somebody out is a complete and utter fool.
Yeah.
Now, those UFC fighters, one thing that my cousin Da Vinci, shouts out to him. Hey, I'm also on the B.O.P.S podcast, the sports podcast. We talk about box. Well, we're gonna leave boxing off of there. This will be on there. But we talk about basketball, football. I don't know about hockey too much. That's not my thing. Soccer, whatever, and UFC. But anyways, boxers need to stop trying to fight UFC fighters, and
Yeah.
UFC fighters need to stop fighting boxers because the angles are different. The whole specification of the fight is different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. There's no. It's just two. It's apples and oranges. Even though they look similar in a sense, maybe in nature. Like even when you see, uh, in when they stand up in MMA, someone might think it looks similar to boxing, but it is just not.
Nah,
It's so completely different. So I agree. They need to stop doing
right?
that. I really do.
And just have respect for each other's sport
Yeah.
because I say this all the time with boxers, they have so many more angles, and people are like, "What do you mean? They only get to use their hands." When you get to use every part of your body, yeah, it's gonna seem like you have more
And
angles.
there's a lot of stuff you have to learn as well too, because you have to learn how to grapple, you have to learn how to kick, you have to learn how to like stop, like all of it, wrestling, jujitsu, judo. Like
Yeah,
you have to have a good knowledge of all of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. But the thing is, well, I'm just talking about striking in general.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
seems like a Thai boxer or MMA fighter has all these angles, but they also have more weapons:
Yeah.
elbows, fists, knees, foot, leg. Boxing, you only got these joints.
Yeah.
So the angles that they have, I feel, is plentiful because they go offline, hit you with a left or right, whatever the case is. While in MMA, they have all these legs and elbows and fists, and they can use all those angles, and it seems like it's a lot, but it's not really a lot because not
Yeah.
everybody is specified in all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's some guys that are better strikers than grapplers. There's some guys that are great off their back, and some guys that aren't. You know what I mean? There's just so many things that you have to learn that you cannot ever really be a complete MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Well, you're either a pure boxer, a brawler, um, defensive specialist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and it's all hands.
Yeah.
And like you say, footwork, right? There's some guys. That's another thing with Canelo. Canelo's not sweet on his feet. You know what I mean? His power a lot of times is generated when he hunkers
His
down,
feet are planted like yeah. He
right?
plants his feet frequently to
Right?
do that. He's not a floater at all.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Well, like I said with
But his
Bevel,
head movement and all that is good. Like he can do that. He's very good. But I think it's also again he just hunts the guy down. Boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
comes with the power. You know what I
You
mean?
see
It's
what I'm saying?
really cool. Yeah.
But look at Bivol.
Hmm.
Bivol's in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm over
That's
there.
how I would like to fight. That's how I try to train to fight. I really believe that it's the best way to box.
Yeah,
It's hard. Well, I guess all of it's hard for conditioning. Even if you're a pocket fighter, you still got to be conditioned to be inside, to be able to be pushing, to be able to be working all the time. Like because you're going forward the whole time as well too. Um, but yeah, I really, and part of it is because that's the way I wish I could fight.
yeah,
You know what I mean? To be able to move that smooth in and out and throw your punches like at will, and to get out and slip all those punches. You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's just like slick, slick fighting. I
Oh,
love it.
for sure. But yo, listen, y'all just put a little respect on Jake Paul's name, okay? And hopefully he'll get an actual fighter. That's another thing I want people to know. You know this as well. Not every boxer's first 5 or 10 fights are actual fighters. Sometimes it's to get them conditioned, being
Yeah,
used to being hit.
They do try to pad the stats, sure.
Yeah, in
The
the
first,
beginning, in the
just to
beginning.
get them used to it. Yeah, just to
Yeah.
get.
So
Yeah.
let's see if he has 20 fights
Mm-hmm.
and they're all tin cans.
Mm-hmm.
Then you know what?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I understand. He is embarrassing, and the only reason why he's circumventing those guys is because he has the money. He already came from a position of having money and not having to do that grind because of YouTube. So to a lot of people like you probably you're looking at it more like he's doing this for a hobby. He's not trying to live the life. He just wants the fame and the money, and you know what I mean?
I honestly, I do agree with you in the sense I do believe he is truly trying to learn the sport and get better at it. I do believe that.
Okay.
I do. I do believe that he, although, he also, I guess that's why he makes his money too, because he does a lot of that shit on YouTube, showing off, doing this routine, doing that, like, um, but again, that's how he gets paid. But I will say that yes, he is putting in time. He is trying to learn the sport, and he does work hard, from what I hear too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so in that aspect, I will agree with. All right, I will. But
But yeah, him circumventing other people who've bled, sweat, blood,
and you can't
tears.
knock the hustle, man. You know what I mean? He's found a way to make some freaking coin.
Yeah, some more coin.
Oh man.
Some more coin. Like he was already rich,
Yeah.
and now he's just a little bit richer, and you know what I mean. And that's what
And I
people.
got to give him credit for that because he's smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did it his freaking way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, didn't ask permission, didn't have to go the route that so many people had to do.
Of course,
So is
you got
that,
the money. You ain't got to do
yeah,
it, baby.
yeah. Like, you can't knock the hustle.
For
You can't
sure.
knock the hustle, man. But hope he gets knocked. I'll put it that
No, I feel you. I feel you. You hope somebody, hits that snooze button, let him take a, in patois Jamaican, go hold a meds. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So to go hold a rest. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no. Other than that, though, man, thank y'all for tuning in.
yeah.
This is your boy King ECG and Coach Oj.
Bless everyone. Thank you.
All right. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, because this is going to be on the YouTube channel, Balance of Opinion Sports, but it will not be on the platform on Spotify or Apple Music. It's actually got its own platform on Spotify, which is Uppercuts. Check it out. This is the third episode. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in and listening. Until next time,
Bless.
you know what I mean? We'll catch you on the dark side. You know what I'm saying? No? No dark side? Come on. Oh, and give us that HBO special, baby. Help some brothers out, okay? Take care.